You might be giving me a lifelong hobby here.
I hope you like it, man. I hope you enjoy it.
I bet I'm really going to like it. I've always wanted to do it.
Kind of couple guy who likes
I've always wanted to try this.
you like all this outdoor stuff, and I think you'll like it.
Looks like you got a thin line tied to a thick green.
Yeah, the green. This is your leader.
Okay.
And the green is the fly line. So we're gonna pull off about twice as long as the rod is long. Then you're gonna double your line like this. If you just try pulling that leader through the end, inevitably, at some point, you're gonna let go of that leader, and the whole thing will fall back through, and you will be so mad you want to throw it, right? Whereas if you do this, if I do this with it doubled over, and I let go of it.
So for your leader, what's the preferred leader line length? What do you generally try to target?
So this should be a 9-foot leader here. You want to run between 9 and 12 feet. There's occasions to run a 16 or a 20 footer.
What do we got? An 8-foot rod here?
8-foot rod with a 9-foot leader.
It's a little bit longer than the rod. Got it?
Yeah. And this should be 5X. It might be 4X. The higher the number, the smaller it is. Or the thinner the line, you know, the lighter poundage. 5X is somewhere around 5.5 pounds.
So for trout fishing line, they're not going to say 30 pounds. It's going to have a 1X, 2X,
yeah, it's annoying. So it's the weight of the fly line. You know, in conventional fishing, the weight of the lure is what casts it out, what carries your bait to the fish. In fly fishing, it's the weight of the line and so that's why it's a different technique, and like you need a certain amount of line out to make a good cast. We're gonna do a dry fly and a wet fly. So these are the dry flies. He told me that yellow is hot right now. So I think we're gonna tie on one of these. We're gonna do what's called a dry dropper rig.
A dry dropper rig.
Can you hold on to that?
Yes, I can.
Which means that
preferred knot or just any standard fishing knot?
Well, so dry dropper, I have my way that I do them. Other guys would have you tie this fly on here with your standard knot, and then tie another piece of line to this for the dropper. I don't do that. Now, this is the one thing that is like my thing that nobody else does, is I'm gonna put that dry fly a couple feet up the line. You know a surgeon's knot? You can make 2 loops just in your line, so put your fly on it, make 2 loops, pass through it twice.
Okay.
2.
Have not seen this one.
You always want to wet your knots because it
pull it tight so it cinches down right. Yep.
Yeah, it keeps the
lubricate.
Lubricate to keep the line from heating up and weakening.
Those of you on the channel aren't aware, but about a month ago Ash took me out rapids, and I did film a lot of it, but I haven't dropped a video on it. I got dumped 3 times and lost a bunch of fishing gear and camera gear. What do we got here?
So those are the nymphs, the wet flies.
Wet flies. Okay.
And so
is this what goes on the end?
Yeah, the dry fly is going to float on top,
Okay.
And it'll serve as both a bobber and something maybe the fish will eat.
Is standard just a floating fly? Like when you watch the videos and the pictures, it's always the flies floating on, or do they typically have two going?
Well, it depends on where you're at. Like in Michigan, I don't know anyone that fishes wet flies. Not normally going to a trout stream. Like the fly hatches are so good, and the fish are feeding on. They're looking up. They're feeding top water, and so everyone just ties on a dry fly and fishes that way. Technically, about match and hatch, you're talking about aquatic insects that live in the river. And then they pretty much do their whole life is spent in the river, and they only hatch out as bugs to breed.
So optimal fishing time is when they're starting to hatch.
Yeah, which, you know, May and June is prime time when a lot of species start to do it.
Okay.
And so, and there's sometimes, I think we'll see some today. I think there's midges coming off the river today because there are midges. But when they talk about matching the hatch, you usually talk about mayflies, stoneflies, or caddisflies.
Okay.
Those are your major aquatic insects that live in most streams in North America and the world, and that we fish for target.
So for the knot you just tied for your, I forgot the name of the fly already, the wet fly. What did we do there? So we did a surgeon's knot up.
Actually did the same knot, 2 loops through, and then passed through the loop twice. And I should be using my nippers to do that. Okay, so now the next step is
real quick, what's our distance here? We got what looks like 2 feet.
Yeah,
2 feet from your upstream, or from your top water fly to your underwater fly. Okay. What do we got here?
This is liquid spray floating to try to keep this fly from getting waterlogged.
Okay, so we're putting on a hydrophobic solution on our top water fly. Okay.
Runs like this along that far bank. And so there's a chance that there's going to be some fish just down here, like down where you see the water's broken there. The 20 feet above it is probably too shallow to hold fish. Maybe there's a couple little ones there or something.
But we can see here, we got a deep zone. And is that
what
from...
glasses help you with, is you can see those deeper slots. So like...
Can I see your glasses for a second?
Absolutely.
You got, these are...
Absolutely.
We got...
some sun clouds.
Oh, wow.
See what I'm looking at?
So you can actually see... I can see the rocks with these on.
Yeah.
A lot better than I can without them. And it's not just it's a polarized...
Not polarized?
No, these are just my shot glasses.
Oh, okay. Cover, they like, you know, they don't like this flat water like this. They like this dancing water because
So this flat water right here?
It makes them harder to see.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't like that. They want moving water with some ripples on it.
And current.
And then a little bit of depth so that like overhead predators can't see them.
Okay. Are they kind of like a bass in terms of ambush? They like hide in the rocks and wait, or are they just kind of...
They're sitting on the bottom and they're just waiting for that conveyor belt to bring food to them.
Okay.
So that's
a great way to describe it.
Yeah, they're sitting in place. Yeah, and this is like a conveyor belt, and it's about this time of the morning. Nymphs, for some reason, come out of the rocks, and they start just drifting with the current to a different place. So get about 30 feet of line out. Now the whole trick with doing it is this rod is not a lever, it's a spring.
Okay.
And like one of the best illustrations I heard, it was some manual for a practice casting rod, but they said flick the paint. So you're not going like this. That's using it as a lever. You're using it as a spring. So 10 and 2 is basically where you're stopping. You want the weight of the line to load up this spring to bend that rod. And so you're going to stop here and let it hit. And like there I presented. But so if you're casting, you're trying to form what they call a loop. You see that line rolling out like that?
Yeah, I do.
That's what casts the line.
Okay.
And so like I'm dropping my tip a little too much because I keep presenting the fly because I'm trying to talk too. But yeah, you stop your line up there, it rolls out, and then you can drop your tip to fish. And so
now, what's the ideal? How do you want the fly to hit the water? Like, what are you going for?
you're gonna stop up here, and then you're gonna follow it down.
And it just needs to slowly. And now you're just letting it. You're just watching and managing.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have to learn the whole fish part of it whenever it happens. But is it similar to like a regular fishing rod when you set the hook? Or
yeah, so like here the fish are facing upstream, you already know that. And so depending on where it's positioned from you, you either want to set your rod down this way or you can do it like this.
okay. And then while we're drifting downstream, I see you're pulling slack, managing your slack.
You're going to manage your slack. Because you won't be able to set the hook if you got 20 feet of slack in your line.
Okay. So just like a regular fishing pole, slack management's important.
And then, you know, eventually you want to get to the point where you can shoot lines, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm loading that rod up, and then standing right here, I can reach that far. One of the best casts that you can learn is a roll cast like that. Because the biggest trick of fly fishing is don't wave the rod around. Like, get that fly on the water. Like, guys that are standing around doing this, they don't know what they're doing.
And the fish probably have excellent sight and can see.
Yeah, you can squid fish that way, and also the fish aren't up there, they're down there. But the more you cast, the more chance you have to mess up your cast and either get in a bush or get a knot in your line. Or sometimes they'll come back and hit your rod.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to learn to just make one or two casts, shoot that line out like that, and then fish. And that's why a roll cast is a really good cast to learn, because you see how far I can cast that. And so you bring your rod up to here, and you sweep it forward like that. That wasn't a perfect roll cast.
Nice.
But so yeah, like normally when I'm fishing a place like this, I'll give this a good 15 or 20 casts, and you're trying to just put it
in the current.
Put it in the current, but also fish as many lanes as you can. Like present it as many different ways as possible. You know, so I'm not going to just make the same cast over and over again. I'm going to hit that corner right there, let it drift back. Then I'm going to try to go a few inches over. Because a lot of times, when they're feeding on nymphs underwater, they're only going to move an inch or two. And if you're 4 inches out of their lane, they may not move for it.
They won't go for it, okay?
Sometimes,
so you're really just trying to drift the bait, conveyor belt. You're just trying to bring it right over them.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a little flick forward like that.
So we learned the flicking, and he's controlling the line right there with his hand, you can see. Okay. So you're getting your preferred length. You're not worried about the excess slack.
When you're lying down here and you're like trying to get going, like I just like to give it a nice little... Oh, I'm in the rock.
Trout fishing requires lots of patience to learn. Yes. Jason is very patient.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a little flick out there like that, so that it's not at my feet. So like it can be right here, you know, and it's all a mess. I'm just gonna give it a little pop like that. And then the cast, you see how I've got it pinched in my finger, like that. That's one way you can cast, and that's an easy way to keep control when you're learning. I'm casting like this because I'm letting line come out. You know, so like I'm shooting some lines, and you'll reach that point. So you either want to hold this tight, right, like this, to cast, and that's a good way to learn.
And then once you figure out the motion,
or you can pinch it if you're struggling with trying to manage both at the same time. Then just pinch it. You know, again, I'm gonna hand you the rod and that thing's gonna drift downstream. And so just give it a little flop like that. And then, I heard that one. Went right past my ear. The wind's pushing it into me. But see, I think you can see what's more comfortable for you, but I think I would start out with it pinched. Oh yeah, watch your back test.
I'm going to shorten it up a little bit until I get the motion down. Right off the bat, we're in the trees. Can you believe that? I'm in the middle of the river, and I still managed to catch a tree. I feel like it's all about timing.
Yeah.
And it's the back time where I'm messing up with my flick. I'm doing it too soon.
The rod behind you, you need to stop it. Instead of like going like this, you need to
Okay,
stop
10 to 2. 10 to 2?
Yeah, just let the line go back.
Oh, I feel the spring now.
That's part of the reason I wanted you to use that rod is those fiberglass rods are really easy to feel.
Jason's got his first trout. Very nice. Very pretty fish. Sure is. Very pretty. Yeah, Ash would love hiking out here. I'll have to bring her up here to go for a hike.
I got the other bird with it. It's nice.
Now that's cool.
Oh, those big reeds?
That are like the erosion or whatever's going on down there.
Yeah.
Of course, the
Big
camera
chunks
ain't
of
gonna
bedrock.
capture it, but like all the color change and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's super neat.
Yeah, it's just super pretty up through it.
It's hard to beat.
Can you imagine, like I was supposed to take 5 hockey players up here last week from the Athens team. And can you imagine?
Careful right here.
Yeah.
It's real slick.
Because, I mean, you see what it's like trying to walk one person through it. Imagine 5 guys thrashing away and...
Yep. Trying. It's really slick there.
Yeah, and some of this got washed out.
The tree tried to come on down.
I remember when that tree came down. Came down a good 8 years ago. And this, they really cleaned this up. This was like a real disaster for a while.
Got your fish glasses on?
I mean, it's dark enough water, just enough, just run from here down to here.
Yeah. What about that run right there?
Whatever you prefer, man.
You're the trout fisherman here. I'm here to learn.
Well, I'm just saying,
And my line's all tangled up now, so my handshakes got loose. Must have jerked it too hard. I was busy fixing a knot. So what's the management here? Do I just... I'm so confused. Reel it up. It's so different than a regular fishing pole.
congratulations, man. That's awesome.
I caught my first trout ever. All right. Oh, yes. There's a bigger one. A little bit bigger one.
Oh, that's a good shot, isn't it? Holy cow. Nope, it's a rainbow.
Woo!
Come on, little buddy. Here, I'll let you grab it.
Calm down. We're just going to take the hook out. There you go.
Oh, good.
He got himself free.
Yeah.
Very nice. Woo, boy! You got a jumper! You got your net? Deep. Check this guy out.
Oh, what do you got?
See if he'll unravel.
Yeah,
He's like this long.
we have this thing at home.
I never seen one before. There's a river otter that was right there. That rock.
When?
He ran in that rock.
Just now?
That big hole.
Just now?
Yeah.
Is that your camera ready? You might come back out.
Well, the camera's on, but I wasn't facing it.
The otter or mink? Yeah. Yeah, that's why I love coming up here, man. It's wild.
I've never seen a millipede that big, or it's a millipede, isn't it?
Yeah. I've seen otters on the river before. And then, I've never seen a bear up here though. Other people have. I walked by one guy.
Whatever it was, it ran into that hole right there.
He says, I saw a bear today. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, where was he? He's like, I mean, you just saw the bear? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I could have said I just saw the bear instead of I saw a bear today. But wherever you point that rod is where it's going to go.
Yeah. And now it's done, so now it's go back. See, but that's something I would have never learned on my own about how I want the dead drift. I would have never figured that out on my own. I was like looking at it earlier, I was like, it keeps going down when it runs out of line.
Yeah, and there's just a variety of things to do to try to obtain a dead drift.
I'm starting, like, I'm getting better at the over the shoulder.
You're doing great for your first time ever doing that.
Ash would have a,
You have a fish to come up with it. Means you're doing something right.
it is definitely a,
Like, one thing that'll help you a lot is throw that belly a line upstream.
now when you say belly align,
That's the belly.
the belly.
So like, it keeps the water next to shore is moving faster. So you make your cast, and then you can lift this part of the line
Okay.
like that. And see, it's already that part's bellied out, but you can reset it. It didn't reset. Never mind. I'm trying. How would I do this if I'm right-handed? Can I do it? I may not have the timing. Well, it's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, you could just stand here and belt roll cats all day long.
That's what I still need to figure out how to do.
So you're picking your rod up like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then rolling that line forward. It comes just right past your ear.
And then snap it down.
Yeah.
Let me practice that. Because that seemed, instead of trying to sit here and you didn't have any slack, you were just like,
the crazy thing, one thing that really first got me liking fly fishing was that if you have bad days fishing, yeah, like that, more or less.
well, I just bring it to the left side. That's what, it's awkward for me. Because
Yeah, because
I almost feel like I just need to left-hand it. So to the ear. Yeah, that's way easier with my left hand. Well, you got a bite right there, didn't you? That cork sure did jerk pretty hard. I had a feeling. There you go.
nice, thanks.
You like that angle?
Yeah.
With the grass in it?
I do like that a lot.
Isn't that cool?
Yep.
And I got a side angle, so that means that I can use it for potential cover.
It's nice. It's nice fishing with people that like know how to use a camera.
Oh, thank you. I'm not as good as my wife. Well, my wife, somehow, I don't know how, but she knows how to take a damn good photo. Oh. She got some excellent photos of me when I shot that buck. He was a black-faced buck too. We don't have too many of those in Oklahoma.
Really?
Well, tell everyone real quick what river we fished today. Chattooga?
Chattooga River on the border of South Carolina and Georgia. It's the river where they filmed Deliverance.
Deliverance.
And because here, I'll take and because of that, a friend of mine was telling me that real estate prices were
Went up because of it?
no,
Went down?
yeah,